Hello and welcome to the recording for IS323 Week 4. The reading this week is Tutorial 6, Working with Tables and Columns. The Week 4 discussion is due Wednesday by 11:59 p.m. Tables are one of the most useful page layout tools available to web designers. Discuss some ways tables can be used on a web page. Elaborate on other ways to achieve the same look and why tables would be better or worse for the same purpose. Find a website that uses tables effectively and share it with the class. Discuss why your example shows good design practices. Cite your sources using APA. Do not forget your in-text citation. You need 3 replies by Sunday at 11:59 p.m. The Week 4 assignment is due Sunday by 11:59 p.m. Complete the Japanese Puzzle Factory case problem 2 from Tutorial 6 of your textbook. This is the before picture, and this is after. As you see, it's a Sudoku table. Using your editor, open the SPF Sudoku text HTML. You're going to enter your name and date at the top, save them respectively, leaving out the text. Then go to the HTML file in your editor and add a link to the CSS style sheet file to the document head. Within the section element, insert a table element. That's what I'm showing here, the section. Then you have the table element. You're to name it with the class of Spuzzle. And you're to add a caption containing the text Sudoku. Next, you're going to create a table header row group containing a single row. The row should display 10 headings. Heading cells, the first heading cell should be blank and the remaining 9 should be 1 through 9, and that's what this is. So this is a table header and this is the table element, and here are the shows the things. Then you're going to create the table body row group containing 9 table rows with the first cell in each row containing a heading cell displaying the letters A through I. So this is the body, the table body. This is the element. And then this is the heading cell. So the first one is A. So you're going to do one for each of those. So A, B, C, D, and so on through I. And then after the initial table cell in the first, fourth, and 7th rows, so after A, you're going to have 3 table data cells spanning 3 rows and 3 columns each. So that's what this is: column, green box, row span, column span. And then you're going to alternate it with gold box, green box. Then so that was A. Then in D, you're going to start with the gold box and then alternate it with green box, gold box. And that's what this part is talking about. Then between those, you're going to have go to each of the 9 table data cells you created in the last 2 steps, and with each data cell, insert a nested table belonging to the subtable class. So you see, this is the subtable class, and you're actually going to do it however the square is. So this comes right after A, which right here, this was A with the green box. Then we have A, and we have, you go 0, 0, 4, or nothing, nothing, 4, nothing, 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 then 3, 5, nothing. That's how this is set up. Then you go across. So 7, I can't read that. 5, 3. Okay, so it's this one. 5, nothing, 3, then nothing, 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 and then nothing, 7, nothing, and so on. So that's A, B, and C. So because you have everything in A already mapped out, B and C don't have anything. They are just like that. And then you'll go ahead and do the others. So D would have all these, and E and F would be like this, and G would have all of these, but H and I would be like this. So that's basically how you do that. Save your changes to the file and then return to the CSS file in your text editor. You start by creating styles for the outer table. Go to the Table Styles section and create a style for the table element of the Spuzzle class. That's what this is, Table Spuzzle, and then you're going to fill those in. And you're going to set the borders to collapse, sets the top and bottom margins to 0 pixels, and the left and right to auto, and sets the width to 90. For the TD element, you're going to do border and width. For the TH element, you're going to do color, padding, and padding. Next, you're going to create styles for the inner table. So that's the subtable. And create a style rule for the table element of the style rule class. That A sets the table borders to collapse and sets the width to 100%. That's what this part is. And then every TD element within the subtable, you're going to create a style rule, and that's with this box, shadow, border, color, height, text, and vertical. For every TD element that's nested within a TD element of the gold box class, so we have gold box, you're going to set the background. Then you're going to do one for the green box. Save your changes and check them against figure 650 and make sure, and that's the one I had back here. Go back, this one. And it's shown in the book. And be sure you validate both the files that you use, the HTML and the CSS, because I will be checking that. The midterm exam is due Sunday at 11:59 p.m. It may only be taken once. You need to know the difference between a WAN and a LAN. That's on page 4. HTML version 4.01 added support for style sheets to give web designers greater control over page layout and appearance. Know the generic grouping element, page 27. Know the file extension for style sheets. Know the character set used for the alphabet of English characters, page 33. Know what linear structure is, that's on appendix E1. A user could change the font size assigned to a paragraph and heading text, set foreground and background colors, and specify whether or not to display inline images. Know the expression of an absolute path name, page 61. Know what you need to create a hypertext link to a document on the internet, page 57. If you want all of the links in your document to point to a new window, you can add the target attribute to a base element in the document's header. Know the protocol used to open a user's email client and address a new message. That's on page 65. Know what measures the amount of space between words. Page 125. Know what typeface has a small ornamentation appearance at the tail end of each character. Page 115. And know what placing the marker inside of the block causes. Page 138. The display type value treated as a block placed in line within another block is an inline block. WebKit, Mozilla, and Presto support similar extensions that mirror the CSS3 background size and background clip properties. The CSS rounded corner model also allows designers to create elongated or elliptical corners by specifying two values for the radius separated by a slash. An element placed with an absolute or relative position scrolls with the document content. And know the scroll over for style. Scroll clips the content but also adds a scroll bar so you can see the clipped content by scrolling inside the container. And this is an example of what I was talking about here. CSS supports the 16 basic color names. The frame attribute allows you to determine which sides of the table have borders. Know a figure that has a rules value of none. Table cells can contain any HTML, including headings, lists, inline images, and even other tables. A website is a collection of web pages and is stored on a web server. Text-level elements do not start on a new line, but instead flow alongside of or in line with the rest of the characters in a grouping element. The table columns cannot be marked with an HTML table element. And I think it was the frame element that this was an example of. That's all I have for this week. If you have any questions, please let me know.